everyone. My name is Yuko from Criteo. Thanks for joining this session. Sorry, can I get the clicker? Okay. Sorry for the technical problem. So, where do I do? So today I'd like to talk about the performance display retargeting. I think a lot of people are aware, but wanted to talk about how retargeting works, and specifically, especially in this Indian market, mobile is becoming more and more important. And so talk about mobile retargeting, but not limited to mobile. We're all, fluidly going between the devices. So today, want to talk about cross-device solutions. So without further ado, I think most people know, but just I'd like to cover some basics. So retargeting, by definition, only targets users who have been to our client site, an e-commerce site. We're able to track, what product the user had seen, how many products, whether they have converted, made any purchase or not. So based on this information, when they leave the site and we find them on our publisher network, we know that it's a user of our client. So we'll say, okay, we'll show you a banner. And that banner is a personalized, and so by showing the banner, the user, it makes it easier for the user to come back to the client site. So that's basically retargeting. There are different ways of doing retargeting. In our case, we do what's called dynamic personalized retargeting. So what it means is we use real-time data, combine that with predictive engines in order to deliver a personalized message to the right user at the right time and the right place. So that seems a little difficult to understand, so let me play a video just to show how that works. So Expedia is one of our global clients. Everyone knows probably this is a online travel site. So this user is making a booking or looking for a vacation in Cancun, Mexico. Nice place. When they search, it returns a lot of hotels, and so the user clicks on the Hyatt Regency Cancun. It shows all the details, but this time the user decides not to make a booking, and it's looking at one of the portal sites, and it's retargeted with the banner. And when they click on the banner, it takes them to the specific hotel detail page. And the user is like, oh, I forgot, I need to book. Let me go ahead and book. So this retargeting banner makes it very easy for users to come back and complete the conversion. So the video went too quickly, so let me focus on this banner. So the middle, Cancun, in the video, the user had originally seen the Hyatt Regency. That was the one that they were browsing. So in the banner, we will show that specific hotel that the user had seen. After that, so in addition, we'll show some recommended products. So other hotels in Cancun. In the video, the user ended up clicking on the Cancun Marriott, not the Hyatt Regency. Maybe the price was cheaper. I don't know. So when the user clicks on Marriott Cancun, then it takes them right back, not to the homepage of Expedia, but the actual Cancun Marriott page. So it shows all the details, and it makes it easier for the user to make a decision to hopefully purchase the product. So with this kind of personalized dynamic retargeting, this is a case study. iGoal is a global brand of fashion and outdoor footwear. Before and after introducing Criteo, we were able to uplift clients by 25%. So this is a case in Europe. So I wanted to show a case study in Southeast Asia. A-commerce is our partner. They're a Thai-based e-commerce enabler, and they work with multiple merchants who like to run online e-tail. 5 of their clients work with Criteo solution, and aggregate. Here are the results. So cost per acquisition dropped by 84%. Revenue increased by 8 times. Customer acquisition improved by 6 times. Unique user visitor growth was 2.7 times. So we are able to deliver a much more efficient performance to our clients. So just a quick overview of Criteo. We're actually a French company, but a truly global company. We run campaigns in over 130 countries. We have offices, 30 plus offices around the world. And what we're proud of is, so we work with over 7,000 advertisers around the world. Reach is also important. We work with over 9,000 publishers. And we're a very truly technology company. We have about 1,100 employees globally. 40% are in the R&D, product development. So we really care about technology. We focus a lot of resource into this. All of our technology is proprietary. And this is where we like to stay ahead of the game and try and deliver the best performance. And we're also proud of the 90% retention rate. So long as we're hitting the targets, and so long as our clients, mostly e-commerce and travel clients, have something to sell, it makes sense to continue on with this campaign to improve their sales. So now getting into the more interesting topic of mobile. I think everyone agrees here, and I've seen a lot of in EdTech this year, a lot of new tech companies developing products for mobile. So I think it's exciting times. So I don't know if people remember this. This is online activity in the 1990s was this, an old desktop PC. But today, we have a lot more. It's a more complex world. People are not just on PCs, but also on mobile and sometimes tablet. And it's not as if you're just using one device, but people are freely moving across different devices. This is a US number, and it's already outdated. But if you see in 2010, so orange is desktop. So the time spent on desktop hasn't changed over the years. What's dramatically increased is the time spent on mobile. And this is even more, well, in the case of India, the desktop has certainly increased because more internet users are increasing. But the mobile users are just increasing exponentially. So complexity is the norm in today's world. This is a report that I like to share. It's an e-commerce, mobile e-commerce report that Criteo did. It's based on the 7,000 plus advertisers that we have globally, and here, the average, on average, globally, already 30% of the sales is happening through mobile. So this is for real. APAC leads the pack. It's mostly Japan and South Korea. Almost 50% of the transaction is already happening on mobile. And in India, so I didn't break out India, but this Southeast Asia number includes India. So in this region today, 36% of the traffic is already coming from mobile. And about 23% of the sales is already happening on mobile. In India, what we're seeing is, especially for the top e-commerce players, the bigger the clients, the more they're investing in mobile early on. And so it's not unusual to see more than 50% of the traffic coming from mobile. Conversion still lags, but users, as a user, we're spending a lot of time on mobile. This is another interesting statistics I like to share. So the mobile behavior. So this is a traffic number. I said the average was about 36%. But on weekdays, it's much lower. And then you see a major hike on the weekend. What it means is that on weekdays, people, do share their time between PC and mobile. But on the weekend, people aren't accessing PC, but spending most of their time on mobile. So this is what's happening. So on desktop campaigns, we are seeing the inverse curve. And a lot of our clients who are running PC campaigns complain about the weekend. Can we do something about the drop of volume, access of users? Well, it's pretty obvious. The users are on mobile. So in today's world, it's important to make sure you're covering all devices in order to maintain your touch point with the users throughout the whole week. So the users are already very mobile enabled, but historically, mobile marketing had its own some technical challenges. So one, the mobile has 4 different worlds: web mobile, and then in-app mobile, and then there's the iOS, and then the Android. So it makes it difficult to develop solutions for these 4 different worlds. The other challenge is lack of standard. So especially for in-app, there's no Flash. That doesn't work on an app. But today we have HTML5 that allows animations and stuff. Also, in web, you can have URL to link back to certain pages that you like to bring the users back. It's not available on in-app, but now we have deep linking that allows to do similar things. So one by one, standards are emerging, and so the technical challenges are being overcome. So for us, mobile has been a big journey. We've been doing retargeting solution first on PC since 2008. But starting in 2013, we've been focusing a lot of our resource on mobile. And one by one, so especially end of 2013, we launched our web Android retargeting. And then throughout 2014, we launched the in-app retargeting solution as well as iOS. So finally, we have a retargeting performance display solution across different devices. So this is an example of in-app. So it's very similar. So the technology is different because it's not cookie-based, it's SDK, but the experience is quite similar. So you're browsing through a product on an application, and then you leave, you're browsing through a portal. I guess this one is a weather channel, and you were shown a banner. When you click on one of the products, it takes deep links right back to, it launches the application, and you're taken to the product page. So hopefully the user will go ahead and make a purchase. So that was mobile retargeting. And now the focus is on cross-device because, as we talked about, people are going back and forth between the different devices. In Southeast Asia, it's very typical that people have more than 3 devices. And the more touch points you have, the more data we can gather, which allows our engine to do better prediction. And also, you have more access to the users. So today, already 20% of the users are doing cross-device. What it means is that users are browsing through on PC, but later on converting on desktop, mobile. Actually, the majority is the other way around. Most people are more and more accessing products through mobile, but then about half of those people will convert on mobile, but the other half still feels comfortable converting on desktop. And traditionally, if you're doing campaigns on PCs and mobiles, the link is not measured. So there's a lot of hidden cells that you are not able to see. This is our data. So people that click from the desktop on our banners, majority of them are still converting on desktop. When you look at mobile, people that click on mobile, they end up actually converting on desktop, a lot of them. So in today's separate campaigns, you're not able to track these cross-device sales. So you're missing out. And oftentimes, a lot of our clients, when they know that mobile is important, but because the conversion is so low on the mobile platform, they hesitate to make investments. But by doing this cross-device, you can clearly track the user, the same user that was looking at browsing at products on mobile is actually converting on desktop. So, and we also care, so we do collect a lot of information about the users. So privacy is an important topic, and we do make sure that we have the industry-leading high standard. So there's two things. One is full transparency and control. Transparency is allowing users to know why they're being retargeted, what information is collected, and if they feel uncomfortable, they can always opt out. The second one is anonymized data. So we collect a lot of information, but all of the data is anonymized. So that's the us being a French company. EU has a lot of very strict privacy law, but we've always been ahead of that legislation above and beyond to make sure that we can gain trust from our audience. So in summary, it's not enough to make a market just on PC or just on mobile, but you really need to you need a cross-device approach to really maximize your sales opportunity and to understand the customer behavior. So that was the introduction, and now I would like to invite our guest speaker, Abhineet. Please come on stage. And we were also planning to have another partner from Make My Trip, but today I think he had an emergency, so he could not make it. But we still have Abhineet from Jabong, so welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for the inviting.
So let's sit down because we have the chair.
Thank you.
So I think everyone knows who Jabong is, but do you want to explain a little bit about what your company does and about yourself?
Sure. So Jabong is the leading fashion destination in...
I think you need to get closer to the microphone.
Can you hear me now? Yes. So Jabong is the leading fashion destination in India. We have more than 15,000 brands and roughly 2 lakh styles on our site. We are, of course, we are an e-commerce company, and we are focused only on the fashion segment. Our mission is to bring a lot of fashion, the fast-changing fashion that the customer needs. We have all the major brands with us. We are bringing a lot of brands from the international world, which are not there in the country, for the customers. And we are also building a lot of other brands in-house for our customers. That's what we are.
Yeah. So Jabong has grown quite drastically over the years. I know there's a lot of competition. What kind of marketing activities do you do as Jabong? Do you do a lot of online, any offline?
As an e-commerce company, we definitely do a lot of online marketing. Most of our marketing budget is spent online, and of course, we cannot leave apart the offline bit. So we do have a good spend on TV and other offline channels as well. And within online, we spend a lot on our display related channels, such as Facebook, such as Google Display, and other retargeting partners such as Criteo. We also work with affiliates and affiliates. Yeah, that's the most of it. Yeah.
Do these different online marketing channels, do they serve different purposes?
Yeah, across the funnel, there are different needs for the customer. Then, so when you think of a customer who is not probably aware on Jabong and who has not been to the site, that's the top of the funnel channels. They were such as display or SEO, or Facebook reach campaigns. They help us bring traffic onto the site. Then there are the lower funnel channels, such as retargeting, that help us convert the huge amount of traffic we bring in, but which may not convert at the same time. So for us, these channels are really critical. And of course, affiliates, which spreads across from the top of the funnel to below funnel channels, all of them are critical.
Okay, thanks. You may want to put your microphone a little bit closer to your
Sure,
to mouth
sure.
for better hearing. And can you tell us about the challenges you faced when you started retargeting campaigns?
I think challenges we faced were A, getting scale, B, getting the CPA down, and the new challenges we face today are tracking customers across devices. For instance, a lot of retargeting is today based on cookie, and with the mobile exploding like anything, to identify that the customer has browsed a product on one device and then completed a transaction on the other device, it becomes a very tough task to say that yes, the customer has completed a transaction, we should stop doing chasing him on retargeting. These are the key challenges.
And how was it introducing retargeting? How does it help?
I mean, for us, as a fashion company, retargeting is really critical, and the reasons are compared to many other things like, say, travel or other things which are need-based, the display aspect is much more important than the search aspect. It's not a need-based thing. It's probably something you already have clothes, but you like some fashion and you like some design, you want to add that to your wardrobe. So to show people that, so the display overall plays a very important part in our marketing plan. And once the customer comes to the site, it's many times he's in the middle of something, he's in the middle of office or middle of doing some work, and he may forget to complete the purchase. So and there was many times there was no need to buy that product. So we need a constant reminder that there is this fashion product you were browsing at, and maybe keep reminding him that this is the product you may want to buy. It's really critical. So we started right from the time we started, within 1 or 2 months, the company started investing a lot in retargeting, and it has been a really successful channel for us.
What percentage of your online budget do you spend on retargeting?
I won't share the exact number, but it is one of the biggest spend areas for us. Again, what I said before is that because of the visual nature and because of the category specific thing, that it is not always a need-based thing. So display and the fact that we need to keep pushing to make the purchase, retargeting becomes very critical for us. It's one of the biggest spend areas for us.
Okay. And tell us about your experience with Criteo retargeting. So Jabong and Make My Trip, who's not here today, has been very kind to share some results. And perhaps, do you want to talk a little bit about your experience running Criteo retargeting has been?
I think so with respect to Criteo, we didn't start with Criteo to begin with. However, we are a part of Rocket Group, and a lot of knowledge comes from our brothers and sisters across the country, across the globe, doing similar business. And what we got to know is Criteo has delivered great results for some of our partners, some of our sister companies such as Zalando or others. So we onboarded them, and I think the results were great, so we continue to use them.
Okay. And are there any specific differentiator, or you feel that it's different with Criteo from your other partners?
I think there's one thing that we like is that the platform is much more transparent platform that we have, and we can by segments or by customer types, we can change the bids. There is a lot of control on the advertiser side, which is something we like.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and how do you measure your conversion? I mean, there's a huge talk about attribution and how you attribute your sales across different channels. How does Jabong do that?
So we use an attribution model which weighs the different traffic sources throughout the click journey of the customer. So we do put a lot of emphasis on so for instance, if a customer came from a pure reach campaign or a display campaign, came to the site and then he browsed a few products, did not convert, then maybe he looked at another, they clicked on a search ad, and then he again did not convert, and then he was retargeted with a Criteo banner and converted. We do split the transaction to all the channels in a certain proportion, and that's how we do the attribution. I think when it was purely desktop, it was fairly simple. Now with the mobile and the app all coming in, it's becoming more trickier. So it's easier said than done. I think we are still struggling with cross-device part, but for desktop part, that's the way we do it.
Okay, so now that you brought about the mobile topic, let's move on the mobile. So how important is mobile for Jabong?
I mean, it's something which is I mean, it's super critical. There's a lot of growth happening through mobile devices. The penetration of mobile is huge. The half of the internet audience is on mobile. So it's a platform we cannot ignore, and it is. I think there are 2 or 3 things that make mobile really important. I think, it's additional. So for a customer, he cannot have a laptop or a desktop every time he's moving around. He needs to, but he has a mobile device. So there's for many existing customers, we can be with them interact with them over longer periods if we have mobile, and we have seen that over time. With the advent of mobile, we have seen the traffic over night time increasing, and even the sales over night time increasing, and that's on the same customers interacting more with us. Also, there are many more customers who are not there on desktop, so for those customers, it's again very integral part. So it's obviously very critical. And if you look at specifically the app is a great thing, which has happened over time. I think we can. The great thing about app is it provides a much better experience. From a marketer standpoint, it helps us to interact with customer much faster. For instance, on our desktop site, someone comes to our site and goes away. The only way we have to reach them and he doesn't sign up, is to go with you. Now with the app, we can send a notification directly. So it's much easier and much faster for us to communicate with customer on app. And we can also provide a much more personalized experience on app than on other parts of other platforms.
So it seems like app is a really great interface. And recently I've been hearing, especially in this Indian market, a lot of large players moving away from web mobile and shifting their focus on in-app. Are you guys taking the same strategy?
No, we're not on. We don't believe that thing, and I think not. So focus, yes, we want to focus this, but there are lots of companies, our competitors, who want to go app only, and we feel that let the customers decide. I think as a marketer, I would love to have everyone on app, and the reason is pretty obvious, that I can reach the customer, I can identify the customer and target him very well. And as a marketer, I would love to have everyone on app. But let's look at it from the customer side, and a lot of our high-value customers are still comfortable using the desktop world or the mobile web version of the Jabong website. And if we want to really force them to change their behavior and come to our app and have it, I don't think that's what we want to do. That's, in my view, it's a slightly worse customer experience. So we don't believe in that. Though mobile is very important and app is very important for us, but we don't believe that we want to be app only for our customers.
So let the users make the decision.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So how much of your marketing dollars are you putting into mobile these days? I mean, you said, I think half of the traffic is coming from mobile. Are you already spending 50% of your marketing dollars on mobile?
No, not yet. I think in terms of the traffic, it's much more than half that is coming from mobile right now, if you include the app and the web part of it. However, However, the ecosystem on the ad net ecosystem on the mobile side has not evolved as much on the desktop side. So, so getting the ROI is still tough on the mobile side, because the mobile side of ecosystem is still much more on the display side of it, on the reach front of display. So it's not as much of spend that is there on web. Also, partially a lot of the mobile part is on from our app. So for the app customers, we are spending a lot to get the app installed on their customers. But once the app is there, the need to spend for the customer to come back is slightly less. So for these two reasons, it's not as much as web yet.
So hopefully, when you start cross-device tracking, you'll be able to see that actually people that are coming in from mobile is really delivering conversion on your PC.
No, we actually do that. We using a certain tool. We have been able to identify the cross-device tracking, and the marketing budget has been allocated by factoring the fact that a lot of customers visit the mobile website and then transact on desktop. So that data is partially there, and the allocation has. So as a marketer, we do allow a less stricter ROI constraint on our mobile spending versus the desktop spending.
Okay, great. Yeah. So, where do you think this is going to evolve? I mean, do you think this trend is going to continue? You think you're going to see more users coming from mobile, and what's your overall strategy?
No, I think of course it is growing, and so the trend is continuing. It is very much in the mobile world is the mobile traffic and the mobile customer base is exploding. So of course I think as a company, we are still, because we are a small company, with limited tech resources, we are still trying to mobilize our resources and make ourselves focused towards the mobile side of customer experience. For instance, we soon realized that the emails being open and the email traffic coming up are coming more from the mobile side, and then less from the desktop side. So even things like designing our emails which are responsive for mobile, or rather designing it which is good on mobile and then making it responsive for desktop, will be something we want to evolve towards. We are still working towards that, and there are many things in terms of the features on the website that we have which have been developed on website, and we're still trying to. I think over last few quarters we tried to get everything on parity, and now the roadmap is to bring everything first on mobile. So a few things have started happening on that front. So that's been the plan.
Okay, wow, that's very interesting. So now I think I'd like to open up to the audience if you have any questions. We have a very experienced e-commerce partner here.
Hello. Yeah, so just would like to understand, in terms of marketing spend, how much of the digital marketing spend is today on retargeting? Any statistics there?
I haven't seen any public reports. I would say probably 15% to 20% of the overall online budget typically is spent on retargeting.
Okay, and that's a global number that you would...
Yes. So it's a nice, pleasant surprise to hear our partner here to say that they're spending most of their budget to retargeting.
Yeah, so just curious, how about Jabong? How much is that? If it's globally 30%?
I will not give the exact number, but it's the biggest channel for us in terms of marketing spend.
All right. Okay, that's interesting to know, because so I work for a company called Echo, and we are trying to create a product which will help in a banner purchase right up there. So maybe we would perhaps connect after the session.
Sure.
Thank you.
Hi, what percentage of your total transaction happens through mobile?
A little around half.
almost like 50%.
Yeah.
And how would you allocate, like how much percentage does retargeting contributes to it? Like you do first time advertisement and retargeting. What's the ratio of that?
Retargeting would be, it's still in single digits, higher single digits.
Okay.
Yeah. But what on the mobile side, the retargeting ecosystem is still evolving.
Okay.
So it's slightly lower on the mobile side.
So you're doing more retargeting on the web rather than mobile, right?
We would love to do it on both, but the ecosystem is still evolving. And the other aspect is that on the mobile side, especially a lot of the transactions or the customers are on the app.
Yep.
On the app, there is a powerful tool for marketers called notification system,
Yes, yes.
which actually does take care of a lot of things that that on the desktop world has a need for retargeting. For instance, on an app, if you browsed a product and you went away, I can send you a notification. So two parts to it. One, the need is slightly less, and two, the ecosystem is also not yet evolved. But there are a lot of customers who turn off their notification systems, or there are customers who install the app and then go away from the app. And there are retargeting products or partners who are developing solutions around reaching out to these customers. So for that, it will be important. It will go up, but it is still in the evolving stage, I would say. How would you say?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, it's always us that are doing the catch up. I mean, the users are already there. They've been in the mobile app, whatever, for a very long time, and it's taken, our advertisers and ad tech players like us to catch up to the users and provide the best solution. And so we're doing our best to not lag too behind.
Couple of questions. So, have you started to do app retargeting already? That's one. The second thing is, typical trend that I see in a lot of e-commerce players is they're working with multiple retargeting partners. Is that a trend that you see going forward as well, or do you see some kind of consolidation happening?
Yeah, so app retargeting we have started. Yeah, as I said before, we want the ecosystem to evolve more for us to adopt more of the retargeting services. I think this. Can you repeat the second question?
So I see a lot of the e-commerce players working in multiple retargeting partners. It's not usually just one or two, right? So
I think we have roughly like more than 3 to 4 partners on our website doing retargeting for us, and many times we get asked that if you have so many partners, you are bidding for the same person through so many other people, and you may ultimately be inflating the prices of the impression and thereby hurting yourself in the mean. And we did an extensive experiment where we with 2 retargeting partners, we split up the geographies and tried to figure out if that led to drop in the CPMs and increase in the scale, or drop in the CPAs for us. But that did not happen. And what we assume, and she may be able to comment it more about it, but is that the fact that every retargeting partner has a different type of engine and a different bidding algorithm, and many of them have different inventories, but the bulk of inventory, although is same, the algorithm is very different. So many times that, and there are anyways so many other people bidding on the same cookie, that the impact of same advertiser reaching through to the same cookie via multiple ad networks or agencies has not inflated the prices so much.
Yeah, so on that, I do have, as a retargeter, this is a common problem. So when the client is running multiple retargeting, there are a couple of issues. One is, Abhinit had already pointed out, so you're bidding against yourself on the CPC. So according to your study, you did not see that, you didn't observe that, but we've done plenty of tests and studies, and we've shown that it actually goes up. So the client will end up paying more for the same user. So that's one, but that's not the only concern. The other is you do not control the frequency of the banners that are shown to the user. Most retargeters, and certainly we do, control the number of times we expose a user to banners. And this changes for us depending on the interest level of the user. We may expose a little bit more, a little bit less, but we're constantly figuring out what is the optimal amount of enough to show enough exposure, but not more than enough to cause user fatigue. But that's you can only control on your platform. So if a client is running multiple retargeters, then I might only be targeting 5 times. But if you have 4 retargeters that are targeting 5 times, then that user is bombarded 25 times. And that's definitely over fatigue, and that will definitely lead to less clicks and lower performance. And we've had tests where our competitor turned off and our performance jumped considerably. And so by having multiple retargeters, it's not just ours that are affected, but all the players, it's not performing at its best.
Hi, I would like to ask, I'm a loyal customer of this Make My Trip and Jabong, and want to ask that in future, like banks are using Twitter for account transactions. So can we have like placing order via Twitter account, like, or using Twitter for like getting up to the status, like we can book via Twitter?
I mean, there's no point of view at this stage, but we have not seen too many customers request this. I think for us, there are many more features that the customers are requesting. This we would like to do everything, but this is somewhat not on the burning list of the requirements that the customers have, I think.
Okay, thank you.
So definitely not in near future. Maybe long term we may change.
Hi. What are the typical metrics, like conversion metrics of a retargeting campaign? How well does it convert?
It depends on how you measure it. So if you measure based on last click, it looks maybe 10 times better than a pure reach campaign or a pure display campaign. But if you have a different attribution methodology wherein you put a certain weight to the channel who introduced the customer first on the first time to the site, then it may be roughly like anywhere between, and these are our numbers, we don't know other numbers, maybe it's something around 30 to 40% better than, or maybe 50% better than the other channels. Yeah.
Hi. If on the one hand you all don't store personally identifiable information about the user, how are you so confidently able to know that it's the same user who's come across different channels without, say, having a login information or something that identifies the user across the devices?
So we don't store things like, I mean, we have personally identifiable information, like we have your email ID, we have your address, everything is there. It's all masked under different segment, different IT setups, and it's securely stored so that it's not available for everyone. But your question was more about cross-device, what's happening, and how do you
track the user if there's no personally identifiable information stored? You need to have that confidence.
So there are different
like
technology,
the 30% and 60% numbers that you were sharing earlier.
That the customer is. Say that again, that 30% number?
No, you were saying, right, that 30% of the people browse and then they go back to the desktop and buy, versus lesser people browse on the desktop and go to the mobile and buy.
We don't do that. So for instance, there are other players in the ecosystem that do that. For instance, Facebook does that. Facebook has that data, and they are able to identify a customer who was logged in from the browser and from the app, and they are able to link that and close loop that part. So we don't do that. There are third-party people who do that.
Yeah, so because we match the different devices to identify one user. I mean, one way is to use customer ID, but that's very limited because in any given time, maybe 10% of your customers might be logged in. We do collect other information, but the way we do, whenever we receive the information, it's in a encoded form. So that personal information is never, it's never your name or your email address or your phone number. It's in an encoded form so that we're able to match it, but it's not in a PII form.
So it's encoded, but the information is still personally identifiable, right?
Yes, but it's not reversible, so we can't say, this is Abby Neats.
Okay, I understand.
Thank you, sir. And a few more minutes, couple of more minutes. Anyone want to ask some last question? Anyone? Yeah, please.
Hi. In many cases, I've seen a retargeted campaign showing up, but then if I've taken an action, I've gone back to the website, done my transaction, whatever I wanted to do, but still that ad shows up. So is there a way to exclude that?
I didn't quite understand your question. So did you say that you bought something and still you were seeing? Okay.
I'll just explain. Yeah. So let's say I go to Jabong. I look for a pair of shoes. I didn't buy. I came out and then I went to a different website. Then I see an ad showing, okay, go to Jabong, buy these shoes, right? So then I go back to Jabong, I buy. But then on another website when I'm browsing, I still see that ad. So that shouldn't be the case, right? Because I've already done that transaction.
Yeah, so our Criteo technology, we know that you had already bought the product. So next time we find you on our network, we will not show that product. So if that is happening on Jabong, maybe it's from the other retargeting partner, which is a little bit hard for us to control.
Let me add to that. I think the fact is that there are multiple platforms the customer comes across. And the retargeting overall works using cookies. And if you browsed from say one device, maybe from your office computer, purchased it from your home computer, or bought it from your mobile device, it may be the retargeting. It's tough for the retargeting technology to cancel that part. Even if you do within the same device, I think there are the internet in India is always, the data gets lost sometimes, and there are many cases because of which that still happens on the same device as well. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Thank you from both of you. And these were our panel juries for the session. And we were talking to Yuko Seto, Managing Director, South Asia from Criteo, and we were speaking to Abhineet Sawa, Senior Director, Marketing, Jabong. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
And thank you everyone for being here in this session.